Ta-da! Welcome to DevKami number 57. Is it 57? I think it's 57. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I'm swimming,
And I am Tristan.
and West Chile on my ass. Still sick, so I can do two things. One is to
Yeah.
pray, thoughts and prayers.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm not a religious type. Or you can
She,
actually wish him let him rest, and which is why only two of us on the show today. So,
what's
what's
the YouTube link? I think we should share it
oh
on the.
the YouTube link is at, let me find it. Okay. Confession
That's
time. This is the first time. This is my first time on this. Continue to YouTube. Okay. I'm going to share it right now in our channel.
I think you put
In
in
our,
general, right?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ta-da!
Yay!
We in. Okay. So, let's start with our events. So, within the next week, we have today is 7. So we have Level Up's Business Day event on Friday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Saturday we have Jom Launch. It's a product launch ticket event. Jom Launch is a developer group. They actually work with different startups to launch products and whatnot.
Mm.
And
Seems
also
to
help
be
you to grow the
happening at
event.
Magic.
Yes, it's happening at Magic on Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then Tech Up event. This one is happening at MCMC Tower at Sambajaya. This
What
one
does
is
it mean? What does it mean that says road to assembly? Is it assembly
uh,
language?
assembly is an event they plan to do to gather people around to talk about digital rights and rights in the digital world.
Mm.
So it's a bit of it is about briefing and learning and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Then Edward taxonomy not important for us. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, but
Yeah. Wow.
uh,
Wednesday is jam packed. A lot
correct.
of things happening.
So it's 6:30 p.m. at University of Malaya Computer Science Department. That's where I studied for 4 years.
Mm.
Uh, the students at the App Club are having an event. How to use GitHub and whatnot. So they actually had an engineer from GitHub to actually dial in remotely to the faculty. So you were
Mm-hmm.
interested, you could join them. It aimed toward a beginner on
Mm-hmm.
how to use repository, but join up, talk to students, help uh, talk to them, and see what you can do with them, right? Then on
Mm.
7 p.m. is a Rust meetup. Uh, this one happening at Kapsuri at Subang,
Mm-hmm.
and it cover Rust 101, Struct, and data structure,
Yeah.
etc.
So Tuxuri is not very far in terms of commute because the
It's
the train is just right next door, basically.
correct. You
So
have to take a
the
long train, but it's
yeah
not too slow.
yeah
So
the
the,
Kelana Jaya no the Kelana Jaya line is not that bad.
yeah, it's pretty fast. It's just a bit longer than usual.
Yeah, yeah,
So
because it actually overshoots Kelana Jaya. So this is part of
correct.
the new rails, but
Yes,
you it's a good office and it's quite easy to
correct.
get to. So if you don't have anything to do on a Wednesday night, go to the Rust meetup
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't.
listen to the streaming of the GitHub uh, event
Yeah.
while while on the Rust meetup.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes. I don't know whether they do the video in the gift event, but let's see.
Mm.
Then on Thursday we will have a deep dive on AWS happening at ADEX
Mm-hmm.
at 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And UX My Meetup. This one is at SIG Asia at
Mm-hmm.
7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Seek Asia seems to
And
be hosting a number of events recently. Like I think they
yeah,
were doing some product. related, product owner related meetups, and now they're
Yeah.
also doing UX meetup. Seek is an HR platform, right? Like a job hunting platform.
C Seek is a job hunting site. Previous is a umbrella company. The Seek in Malaysia used to be known as
Job Street.
JobStreet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and they still own the product as JobStreet, but they also have Seek for other verticals in
Mm,
Malaysia. But for other country, they are more their website is known as Seek. So
mm,
what I think that happened very interestingly is for a while they've been trying to modernize their development environment because
mm.
JobStreet is actually one of the underrated success story that exists since the .com era and they just
Yeah.
survived till now with relatively comfortable amount of money. Then they got bought over by a company from Australia,
Oh, I
which
thought they were
required them to
bought over
modernize
by
their.
Monster.com.
Oh, okay.
Or are they the same people? Let me see.
It
Monster.com
could
is one
be.
of the biggest job seeking platforms in the US. Oh, yeah, see,
Yes.
there's monster.com.my. Oh, no, this is a different company that they bought.
Yes.
It's
Correct.
Trex. Okay, so I guess Seek bought JobStreet and
Yeah.
Monster
Long time
bought
back.
Trex.
Yeah. It's
Ah,
an old story. So that's it.
mm,
So that's our events till next week. Looks pretty packed and looks pretty interesting. So, right,
yeah,
let's talk about news
yeah.
or O's, as we say. Okay. So what's interesting for the past week?
I haven't been catching up. We had a production
Uh,
deployment, so I'm not
uh,
sure
to
what is
me,
there on
okay,
the
let's say that.
list.
So let's see. We have,
Oh,
uh,
Dart. Dart is interesting. So this
yeah,
was
what
just
happened?
recent. Well,
Yeah,
Dart is the language you use for Flutter,
yeah.
and the latest news is that they just released. Well, it was in beta before, but now it's officially released. Dart to
Mhm.
native. So
Yeah,
if you remember, like for example, Go or Rust or Crystal, the
yeah,
LLVM backed languages, right? They can
yeah,
create CLI programs, so command line interface
yeah.
programs, and
Okay,
probably like servers, like single binary stuff. Now, Dart
yeah,
can also do that. Before, you can
okay,
only create binaries for mobile platforms,
right.
but now you can create binaries for uh, Linux, for Windows, or for Mac, and
Cool.
that's quite powerful because now, like, let's say you want to run a web server, like a
Yeah,
backend server, for example. Then now you can just do a Dart executable and
yeah.
compile that and then run that just as if you would do it in Go or Rust or in Crystal.
Okay.
So it's
It make
quite
deployment
interesting.
interesting. It make
well
deployment
depl-
interesting for me.
yeah, so the deployment, the single binary deployment
Yeah.
had been used by Go, or like as a feature by Go or Rust or
Uh,
Crystal, right? But what's interesting is that Dart used to be like this this just a mobile language, but now they
yeah.
are starting to be a desktop language as well. So I
Right.
think that is very very interesting.
Yeah, it also make deployment easy because we do not use only one language in the real
Mm-hmm.
world. So it does make things, yeah. So let's move on. GitHub, GitHub sponsors. So
No, I haven't
GitHub,
actually. I've
GitHub.
seen the links, but I haven't actually known what it is about.
So GitHub sponsors solve for the problem of open source software development. The problem is you need to how do you contribute if you can't code, one way you can contribute is to actually give money. But how do you give money to the open source contributors? So GitHub sponsors is one of the solution. Actually, it allows you to actually add a link that allows you to link to different accounts. So I think it supports things like Patreon or whatnot. I do not know the detail. 30, it's out of beta in 30 countries, but Malaysia is not one of it. Singapore is, but Singapore a bit easier financially, so maybe that's the reason.
That usually is the case because in order for you to accept payments, then you have to go through all the regulatory stuff, right? You have to have a
Correct.
business in that country and all of these things. So
Yes.
I guess that's one of the things that makes it difficult to do business in Malaysia.
Yeah, but applying for
International
business,
business. Yeah.
yeah, applying for business in Malaysia is easier. But in fact, things like the recently launched Square, not
Stripe.
Square,
Stripe.
Stripe. It does make it easy for you to register, but you still need to fill in a few information before you can accept money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too bad. My biggest problem is for DevKami, are we a consultancy or media or whatnot? So the category is a bit harder.
Entertainment. We are an entertainment company.
And
Oh,
we
do we
are,
have to pay entertainment tax? Is there such a thing in Malaysia?
yeah, yeah. If you do, it's complicated if you do it on live. Let's say you do a live show. I definitely may not allow to do that, but YouTube is not
Mm.
regulated. So because one early days of communication, early day of communication act is that it's hard to regulate the internet. They just don't bother.
Mm.
So we can't be do entertainment, but we may do consultancy. I don't know. I
Mm.
still don't have yet. Also, I don't have a strong idea how to turn us into an entity, but that's the future. That's the future. Yes, there's too much information out to the public, but I do intend to turn DevKami into an entity, maybe temporary, permanently temporary. I do not know yet, but it make us easier to do a few things. Finally, oh yeah, so the next one is the next news. I'm so sorry for going off track. La 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 la. Okay, so .week.com had I will share the link later. On our bus corner, Sheila actually shared a link to do SQL injection tutorial for beginners.
Mm.
And
You'd
the
think that
next,
people have learned by now, right? But apparently people are making the same mistakes over and over.
yes,
Or
and the
maybe
final,
they're people are writing the same articles over and over. I don't know.
yes. So the final two interesting thing for me is that the European Union is funded have funded a project to patch a 20-year-old vulnerability to Pati.
That's
So
an old which software is this? Which open source program?
I think it's Pati.
Putty.
Yes,
Putty, really? Wow.
yeah. So this is the thing. This is where my stand about having government and all that happens, right? Sometime when there's a public goods situation, for example, party need to be fixed. When company are not willing to put money because it may not be profitable or it's not a priority, well, government has to step in, and this is one of those things that prove my thought on this case. And the final thing that interests me, other than the EU, is actually Microsoft have released Visual Studio Cloud
Mm-hmm.
uh, in beta. Was it in beta or yeah, in beta now? So you can actually use it to write code on the IDE on the cloud. Yay!
Mm.
I
People
don't
have
even know
been
what that means.
experimenting on it. There have been
Huh?
like the Cloud 9, I think, or there's the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nitrous.io. Um,
Yes.
with all of these, like it since 20 something. So people have
Yeah.
been experimenting on it, but I guess Microsoft being a large company, um, they people will trust them more because like the kinds of Nitrous.io, I'm not sure if they even still exist. Let's see. I remember
Yeah.
they were one of the pioneers of this cloud computing. Yeah, so it's not
Cloud.
the certificate is
Yes.
not even there.
Yeah.
Site is suspended. Yeah, so it's gone.
Cloud9 is still there, but Cloud9 is open source code. I
Hmm.
do not know if the site is still there, but the code might most probably still exist.
There is this Eclipse Foundation project called Theia. So
Yeah,
an
huh?
IDE, Theia IDE, which was
Yeah,
it's I guess a ripoff of the VS Code source, but well, not really a ripoff. I mean, it's the license allows them to do uh,
yeah.
things similar, but they rebuilt it in such a way that it's cloud friendly, so you can actually host an IDE in the cloud, and they
Hmm.
did multiple things. So I don't know how to share a link on the stream.
Uh,
Maybe you can share this link, and then
yeah.
we can.
I share the YouTube. I actually share the YouTube link on general on Genius Mind.
No, the link to Thea.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, the ID I'm talking about, because Arduino, do you know the Arduino editor? They
Yeah,
have recently switched to this, and they are
yeah,
giving out like access, like uh, beta access to the
mm-hmm.
new Arduino IDE, which is based on
Yeah.
Thea. And they have an actual
Interesting.
file system now, like a file system view. So
Uh,
before, like in the Arduino IDE, you're just in a single sketch. And then when you import all of these, it's very clunky. It's not how
yeah,
programmers would usually work. But now you
yeah,
have a proper IDE with a proper file system
yeah.
tree on the left side, for example, and
Yeah.
then you can import whatever. Everything is there. So similar to how
Okay.
Platform IO tried to do for VS Code. But now
Yeah.
Arduino is trying to do it like with a different IDE.
Mhm.
So let's see what
So
happens.
yeah, the platform IO targets everything else as well.
Mhm.
Whereas Arduino
Well,
targets
that's the
Arduino.
thing. Arduino is trying to be like everything. Like it's trying to eat Platform IO's lunch
Yeah,
with
but
this IDE.
yes, but platform IO can do everything else as in, let's say you had uh I'm thinking, okay, the ESP8266 native SDK are not Arduino, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
But that is the fastest around. Platform IO support that natively.
yeah.
So
Uh,
there's a
I
difference.
I think the new Arduino IDE will support plain C editing as
Ah,
well. But I'll get the
let's see how it
link
goes.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see how it
but yeah,
goes.
Arduino is trying
Yeah,
to eat Platform IO's lunch, because I'm
yeah,
sure they've seen what Platform IO has been doing, and they
yes,
know in order to survive in this very competitive hobbyist market,
yeah.
they have to do something, right? So
Yeah, and to for professional adoption, that is like one step. The next one is they
hmm
need to do a few things that the Arduino doesn't do yet. For
yeah,
example, your development board, a development board used by professionals have hardware breakpoints.
yeah. Well,
Arduino don't have that.
the Arduino, the Atmega 328 doesn't have it, but
Yeah,
recently the reason why Arduino is investing into Cortex M0 and
yeah, yeah.
Cortex the ARM
The arms,
processors
yeah,
is because of that debugger. So
yeah,
they
yeah,
had a few years ago they had the Arduino Zero, which
yeah,
had that extra USB port that
yeah,
actually has a the embedded debugger on it,
yeah.
which makes it like closer to how professionals actually would use a microchip.
Yes, correct. And those are beginning to be available at more and more. But yeah, one
Mm-hmm.
day, let's see how it goes. So that's it.
Yeah.
This my side of the news. Any interesting other interesting news from you?
No, nothing. That's I
How
think
about the
what old stuff.
yeah? So recently, okay. So what are we talking about today?
We were well before the show. We were talking about the Citron sale,
Yes.
November 7th. It's only like 2 more hours, two and a half
Yes.
more. Sorry, 1.5 more hours before the sale closes. A lot of the
Yeah.
things are sold out because they were
Yeah.
really cheap. I was just talking
Yes.
about the Macestro people.
Yeah.
So they made the Espectro 32 and the Alora board. Espectro
Yeah.
32 is a board with
Yes, sir.
an ESP32 with a lot of
Yeah.
things like you have a Charlieplex LED
Yeah.
array. You
Okay.
have like Grove sensors. You have
Okay.
what
Stop.
else is there?
You have
Like
a basic sensor like your temperature, your
yeah,
gas,
you have a
your
NeoPixel. So it's like, and it usually retails for 180 ringgit, but they sold it for 31 ringgit, and
yeah.
it's like really cheap there. The Alora board, I was surprised. They had a GPS module. They have all kinds of air quality sensors,
Yeah.
IMU sensors, and accelerometers, etc. And
Yeah.
it used to sell for 500. Now they're just selling it for 50. Unfortunately, it's out of stock. As
So
you
can
can
you see
see
the screen
here,
right now?
yeah, I can see the
Yeah.
screen. So
Yes.
as you can see here in the screen, the first one where you're hovering, this is an Arduino Mega,
Yeah, I
and
know that one.
re- retails for 170. It's now like just 90. And the reason why
Yes.
they're selling it, they say, is that the boxes are damaged, so you can't
Yeah.
really sell for full price. So what they
Yeah.
did is, so I'm not sure, maybe there was like flood or something, I don't know, or maybe it got
Yes.
crushed in storage, and so they actually opened it up, tested it, and repacked
Hmm.
it. So it's almost like a refurbished type if you were in the US. So it's
Yeah.
not really brand new. But then again, it is a microcontroller. You don't really need it brand new. You just need it working because it's going to be.
Yes.
It's not a display piece basically. It's designed to be to prototype and then to be hidden away or to be replaced by an actual production unit.
Uh, why are you interested in the Mega?
I wanted an original Arduino board to
Right.
support the Arduino Foundation. Recently,
Right.
I bought an original Arduino Uno. That's a hundred
Yep.
ringgit. The clones sell it for like 12 ringgit a piece. But then
Yes.
again, why would you want to buy a clone or like
Yeah.
the Maker Uno, which is not a clone but it's compatible to Arduino is 29. Still cheap,
Yeah.
but they don't really, I mean, because it's open hardware, open
Yeah.
schematic, they don't, the Arduino Foundation does not get any money from that. So I just wanted
Yes.
to support the Arduino Foundation, who has been very, very generous in opening up all of these schematics and opening up
Yeah.
the hobbyist electronics community. So I wanted to buy
Okay.
that. I recently also bought their newest Arduino Nano, the
Uh,
Arduino Nano IoT 33. So that one
right.
has an ESP32 chip being used as a Wi-Fi chip,
Yeah.
and it runs on us at 80 SAMD21. So it's a
Yeah.
Cortex M0 ARM
Mhm.
chip, and I'm using it to try out TinyGo. So I'm
Yeah.
playing with TinyGo right now. It's a Go
Okay.
for microcontrollers, and hopefully I don't
Okay.
know, maybe on the Go turns 10. So
Right.
there is this push by the Go community. Go turns 10 because it turns 10 on December.
Right.
There will be a meetup, and maybe I can present something there using TinyGo. But we'll see. Maybe Chil Yong
Okay.
can help me on some of these things.
So the Amiga is also interesting in practice because of the number of I/O. You may find it very weird that why we need so many I/O. So Amiga have like 20 plus pin out, I believe.
Hmm.
Was it
It's
40?
100 plus if you have almost 100 if you break out all of the pins.
Yeah. So it's a lot, and people actually use that for robotics because a motor driver will have multiple pin. Power will have a set of pin. Then so I'm trying to opening up the spec right now. So they got bigger memory. It almost had like a PC in the old days. You can have 14 PWMs, so that you can have it. So with this, you can actually do lights. So let's say you had a Christmas, you want to run a LED strip to do crazy light and whatnot. And Mega is where you want to go, and you can theoretically have an LED strip cover the whole room because they got like 54, you got 14 PWMs, you got 54 digital inputs, and
I don't
it
think you
goes
can
really crazy.
do like lots and lots of LEDs with 14 PWM though.
No, 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 you
You can
don't.
do 14, but
Yes.
not lots and lots.
No, no, you would use it for, okay, maybe not this, but the 54D digital pin will actually can be used for, those digital programmable
Yeah.
LED strips. You can definitely use a
Yes.
lot of those that cover the whole house.
Yeah, I think those have a so those chips sorry,
Yeah.
those LEDs usually will have a microcontroller that
Yes.
will respond via serial, and then you do bit masking on which
Yeah,
LEDs
yeah.
you want to light up at
So
a
this will be
particular value. Yeah.
so the Mega would be your central
PWM
piece.
though, PWM is very useful for servos though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
if you
is.
want to control an angle, so that's your data, like how much angle. So depending on on the duty cycle of the pin, right? And then the
Yep.
power comes from somewhere else to actually turn the thing. So
Yep.
like telling it 30 degrees is sent by a PWM signal, like their duty cycle
Mm-hmm.
there, and then actually turning the motor, because you need more than just like the puny amps that a microcontroller pin can provide. You can actually have
Yeah.
a proper power supply, like a 12-volt um, car battery to move
Mm-hmm.
all of these things. So yeah, so that's quite good. Lots and lots and lots of I/O that you can
Then you
use.
can also notice the GPS shield.
Yeah, the
So
GPS
it's
shield
so
is also quite cheap.
yeah, but it's also this is actually a very old model, but it's so cheap nowadays because people just don't use it now. But it's a PT. You can literally use this to map the whole area. So I remember we had been talking about safe cars. Do you remember I
Mm-hmm.
talked about safe cars? So safe cars, what they do is they had an Arduino. Actually, I remember seeing what they bought. Actually, it's the Arduino Mega. Then they actually connect all their sensors to the extra port and some set of GPS and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and SD card. Then you use quite a lot of the GPIO. So one of the things they have is actually a GPS. So the reason why you have that is so they can log your sensor reading to a place, to a spot.
Ah, uh-huh. Well, which is speaking of sensor readings, the
Yeah,
um the air quality project that we're doing, which I'm still working on, because I finally
yep,
got like I just I'm settling down on a D1 Mini, because
yeah,
and
okay,
putting it in the boxes. But I think the GPS coordinates, like if that sensor would have GPS
yeah,
coordinates of where the actual sensor reading happened, then that will be
yep,
so useful.
yes.
Yeah.
But you need to, and also that thing is the reason why people use Mega because reading from GPS actually a serial, and you don't. On Arduino, you usually have to use a soft serial, but sometimes soft serial is not good enough. The extra
Yeah.
serial on the board would be very
Yeah,
useful.
it's proper hardware serial with flow
Yeah,
control. Sorry,
correct.
do you see this breadboard compatible Arduino? Lower left, second from the left.
This one,
Yeah,
uh
that one.
huh,
Yeah. Can you see it's 10 ringgit, but they're
yeah,
selling the actual chip for 15. So with this
yeah,
one, you actually get the chip plus the breadboard compatible
right,
arrangement for like less than the price of the actual chip.
yeah.
They're really
Uh,
like clearing out things.
Yes, but I also think that this might be because this is a very old product. Hardly nobody do this anymore. But it is what it is.
Well,
It's cheap and
sometimes
it's still
you
useful.
yeah,
And it's
sometimes
still
you'd want
useful.
to, when you actually want to do a proper project, you don't want the Arduino thing, right? It's too
Yeah,
large. You just want the chip
correct.
plus some passives and power supply. So doing it
Yeah,
on a breadboard would be like, okay, this is much better to this is easier. It's closer to how you would arrange things on a proto board.
correct, correct.
Yeah, so
And
I
as you
found
can,
some of the things as well.
uh-huh,
The QFP adapter. So
yeah,
you know the small chips right now, these
yeah,
surface mount device chips.
mm-hmm,
They're very very small, and that those QFP adapters,
yeah.
you solder that tiny microchip on there, and then it breaks out all of the pins, and you can use that for a proto board or
Ah,
like a
okay,
real
okay,
board. So that's actually quite good.
yep.
Like this one on the
Like
left
this one,
side, for example. Yeah, so
yes.
see they can accommodate multiple sizes, and then you just use the pins afterwards. So you can actually do a something called a dead bug um,
Ah,
design, where you
yeah,
put it there, you put long male pins on the other side, turn it around, paste
mm-hmm,
it on your, I don't know, copper clad board or
mm-hmm,
whatever, and then you just solder directly to the pins on top, and then it's a dead bug design, because it looks like a dead bug.
right. And also, the thing is, one thing I promised myself to learn that never happened.
Mm,
Surface mounted SMD soldering SMD circuit.
I don't know. I
It
don't know
is
how to do it.
soldered. Yeah, it is. People have some specialized. You don't need specialized equipment. You do need some specialized head on your
Yeah.
soldering iron.
Uh,
but and also steady
yes.
hand.
Apparently, that is like only for minor work.
Yeah,
The way you would do an SMD
it's
is with
oven.
a stencil. So you have a
Yeah,
stencil and you have
yes,
solder paste. You put it on top, you paste it, you put the
yeah,
components as if you're a pick and place machine, and then
yeah,
you reflow the thing. And so
yes.
there's no solder, there's no hand soldering involved. You
No,
put it in an oven and then it just melts the solder and then everything comes out.
correct.
And then if something got bridged, for example, that's when you bring
Yeah,
out the soldering iron and then remove the
correct.
bridge manually.
So you need a relatively specialized equipment. It's not too bad. You can
Yeah.
get people can do that. And all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just do it with a hot air gun. The problem with a hot air
Yes.
gun is that you can't really control the temperature that well. Unlike with a
Yeah.
reflow oven, you can say, okay, it's 300 degrees. Sorry, not maybe not 300, maybe 200 plus. I don't know what temperature solder melts, but exactly at that point, it melts,
Yeah.
but it does not harm the components. Whereas with a hot air gun, also here's the Alora board. So
Yeah.
with a hot air gun, you don't know. You're directing air, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's like towards the side or directly on top. You can't really
Mhm.
control the thing. Yeah. So this is the one with the multiple sensors. It says here an IMU sensor. So that's like inertial movement, something. I forgot.
No,
It's about
imagine
like
measuring
moving.
unit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They have temperature, humidity, light, air quality. So this is like carbon dioxide, humidity, etc.
Yeah.
Um, there's a microphone apparently, magnetic,
Mhm.
a GPIO. I don't know what a GPIO expander is.
You can add
There's a
modules on
GPS
it.
module here as well.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
GPS module a more recent one or
I think this is an
something
older
else?
one. It's
Mm.
more recent than the one we showed just now, but
Hmm.
this is not the latest thing around. But then
Yeah,
GPS
okay.
don't change.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's the same technology since they launched the satellites.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
notice that they use RTC. Very important. You want to do.
Hmm.
Very important. You want to build. If you want to count your measure, do a time series and all that. And
Yeah.
also,
Hmm.
this one is not a standalone, but it can stand alone, but it's meant to use with Arduino and the Pi, apparently.
Yes. Well, you need a
Interesting.
microcontroller to use it, but you can also use
Okay.
this as so you can use it directly with the pins. But I think the reason why the Spectral 32 has a Raspberry Pi pinout,
Yeah.
compatible
Mm-hmm.
pinout, is because it can interface directly with this.
Right.
And then or like so that product is quite interesting because it's an
Uh-huh.
ESP32 and you have
Yeah.
Grove and all of these things, but you
Yeah.
also have the microbit connector at the bottom and you have the
Right.
Raspberry Pi connector on there.
Right.
So it's like it's trying to get everything,
Yeah.
and I guess it was cool back then, but I'm not sure now because they really dropped down the price. I guess it wasn't selling at that price point. But at
Yeah.
31, I bought one. I
Yeah.
mean, 31 ringgit is cheaper than like a full on ESP32 proto board, and this has a lot more
Yes.
sensors than it does.
Correct. And unfortunately, this price point is not really friendly because notice the microbit.
Hmm.
Microbit have a lot lesser capability, but to get started is for 72 ringgit is very powerful.
Yeah, you can already try and learn Bluetooth Low Energy, and
Yeah.
with what I'm researching right now for like a future talk is something
Yeah.
called Web Bluetooth. So
Yeah. Oh
Chrome
yeah.
and Firefox, they're trying out the like Web Bluetooth where you can connect to a device through your
Yes.
browser, and then you can
Yes.
control it. There's a lot of talks online with Firefox and Chrome controlling robots, for example. And
Yeah.
you have the power of a full desktop and you have a
Mhm.
sensor, and then you're just extending your computer, your full sorry, what is it now? Intel CPU or Ryzen CPU. You're extending
Mhm.
that power with a sensor, and then you just open up a lot of possibilities that way with web Bluetooth.
Mhm.
So yeah,
All right.
microbit is already a good gateway to those kinds of
Yes.
technology. What
Oh
is
yeah.
this micro
So we
C?
can
I've
get.
never done this before.
I want to show this for a reason because
Yeah.
you kids never heard of it. Uh, So during early days, as of early 2000s, when people do embedded system, they use a version of C for PIC. PIC is a microcontroller
Which
from
PIC was, so
microchip.
here's a bit of history.
Yep.
Microchip, the maker of PIC, was doing PIC, right? And then
Yes.
Atmel came along and
Yeah.
Arduino came along, and then they just ate PIC's lunch because they were more popular. Basically, everyone just wanted the Atmel chips because of Arduino, and then
And
Microchip
look
bought
at the
over.
price. Yes.
Yeah,
But
wow.
those days, to write a program, you need to pay for this much. Okay, just to write program for a
Yeah.
page, and it's not really that powerful at that time.
Hmm.
So it's like 8 bit or something, and you still have to pay for that much.
Yeah.
Which is why at that time, uh, embedded development is very hard to go in, partly because of the software. Arduino changes a lot of things. You do not
Yeah.
get a professional toolkit and all that. Uh, it doesn't matter. It's a
Hmm.
very cool story. The reason
Which
I show this just for that alone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, Arduino. That's why Arduino really changed a lot of things. It really opened up the hobbyist electronics community, because
correct.
before you had to be a professional in order to actually use these things. You cannot afford the
Yeah.
development environment to program on an embedded chip. But
Unless you're in a
we could,
school.
yeah, well, and that's how they actually get you to um
Get
use
you
to buy
hooked.
the thing, right? You get you hooked
Yeah.
because this is what you're familiar with. It's like Adobe, right?
Hmm.
They turn a blind eye to people pirating Photoshop because they know
Yes.
when these people get jobs, they will want Photoshop and they will ask their companies to buy Photoshop for them so
Yeah.
that they can be productive. So it's the same thing. And
Yes.
because of Arduino, because of all of these development environments, it has opened
Hmm.
up the whole embedded and hobbyist embedded systems. I still don't think that um, these things like whatever we're doing for hobbyists is going to be something you can immediately go to product with or go to market with. You still
Yeah.
can't design it. You still need to go through the same professional stuff, proper PCB manufacturing, all of these things. But for just a small prototype, then it's great. And also for learning, like understanding
Yes.
how does I squared C work?
Yeah.
How do voltages work? Like ones and zeros. What does it mean to be a one and a zero? Why is ground ground, for example? So
Yes.
all of these concepts.
Yeah.
So they're
So
still alive. You're going to the Macestro site. They're still alive.
yeah.
They're still selling
Yeah,
it.
I think about it. Yeah. Actually, it's in rupiah, so I need to do my conversion.
So let me do that. 2,000 rupiah in Malaysian
No, it's
ringgit.
2 million. It's 2 billion rupiah.
Oh, 2 million rupiah.
Yes.
What? What?
I
I
do.
only see three. So it's 2 million. It's 588 Malaysian ringgit.
Yeah, but
And they're selling it for 50 ringgit. So
yeah,
2,000 rupiah.
yes. But this full feature compared to the rest, so I get it. I know the guy, so I understand. So that's it. Shall we move on?
Yep. Well, you have 1 hour and 20 minutes until the sale ends. So good luck
Yeah.
for anyone. Oh, see, Spectro 32 is now sold out. It wasn't sold out before we started the podcast. So yeah, that's how fast things are going.
Unfortunately, I have other priorities this month. I was seriously hoping to get one of the M5 Stick V, the camera with
Ah,
the
yeah.
and it's not too
The
bad. The price
M5,
is
the M5 Stick C is 85. The M5
yeah,
Stick V with the AI camera is
yeah,
145. It's not that bad. It's actually quite
yeah,
cheap
yeah,
for the
yeah.
camera.
And you can run a neural network. I believe I don't know whether they can run TensorFlow like yet, but it's
Hmm.
pretty impressive.
It's a
Uh,
RISC chip. Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
correct. They have on board. It's a RISC chip, but they have on board hardware for processing vectors, tensors, and all that. So it's in a way it's like GPU, except it's only for a very specific vector calculation that's useful for neural networks.
Mm. So it's I think they call it an ASIC for the Bitcoin mining thing,
No, it's
like
not
very
ASIC.
specialized hardware for a particular
Uh,
purpose.
yeah, but there are this
So
one are
yeah,
not so
ASIC.
specific.
Yeah, so ASIC is application specific integrated circuit. So
Yeah,
I guess it's an ASIC for those types of processing. Like you can have
yeah,
an ASIC for like for image processing, for example. So it's a
yeah,
chip
correct.
that you don't write the software, the chip hardware itself, the
Yeah.
connections between itself know how to do the image processing.
Mhm.
Cool,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm
I just
hoping for
don't have
that.
any
That one
projects
over
for
that.
this.
I have one. I have one that is private. Okay, it's part private because first I want that, but I also need a lot of gray photo.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
I have something practical for that. Unfortunately, that is a bit private because I got friends involved in that. So yeah, that's interesting. But other project I want to do with that is actually I want to get a whole robot chassis, plug it in. Now you got self-driving
Mm-hmm.
car. They got self-driving car thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that could work. So that's on my list. But there is Monday is the November 11th sale. I hope there's some discount. I doubt it, but I hope there's
I
some
don't think
discount.
so. I don't know. Maybe Citron or Lazada or Shopee. I don't know.
Lazada will have it, but it tend to be. I noticed that. Uh, so I look at camera lens. They did not actually give a discount because you look at normal day, look at the same product, it's the same price.
They just increase they mark up the price and then they give a discount, so it ends up to be the same price anyway.
Yes, correct. So that is actually very troublesome.
Yeah,
Very problematic, not troublesome, problematic.
yeah. Hmm.
So
Okay, we have a few comments before we switch topics. We had a few comments.
yeah,
Chris was saying hello. Nicholas is
hello.
there. Just like about the Monster Yap, we figured out that Monster is a competitor. The Replit
Yes,
is another cloud IDE. And web Bluetooth. You really so Nicholas, you should take a look at it. It's really really interesting.
yeah,
I will try to find. So one of the talks that I've been giving before was Esprino. So Esprino was used by one of the people that does a lot in HTML5, like that does presentation HTML5 for web Bluetooth. So
yeah,
I'll get try to get that presentation pasted on this chat later on. Donaldson
yeah,
was talking about the topic of the day, which as usual is whatever whatever we think of on that day. But
yes,
we were just talking about the Citron sale.
yeah,
You still have like 1 hour 15 minutes to go through the Citron sale and get whatever's still on stock.
mhm,
Yes, FPGA. FPGA is quite something that I wanted to do, but I didn't. I mean, that's why I'm in software. It's a lot easier to
yeah.
do to do
But
custom logic in software than in an FPGA.
yeah, but FPGA is soft. It's programmable.
Yeah,
If,
that's why I'm in software because software is easier than FPGA
yeah.
because you have to
So
create your own logic gates on FPGA, and I don't have time for that. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
you just use existing tools. We need to get we had a friend that is expert on chip design. We should get him in.
Mm-hmm.
He will explain it because he on his GitHub actually source code for processors
Mm-hmm.
for FPGA hardware. So I don't remember the name. No, Sean. Sean, I need to get him in one day. Let's see. Because he's an actual hardware engineer, as in he's a professional, and he do chip design. So yeah, interesting guys. What else? Then also finally you can write a circuit in System C. Yeah,
Mm.
because the primitives is there. So that's it. What else we want to talk about? Because we have 15 minutes.
I don't know. You wanted to talk about the communities, I think.
Yeah, but I realized that we go so far ahead, we don't have much time to cover the whole. We actually spent so much time talking about hardware hacking
Uh huh.
that we've actually kind of, well, the community going to take a lot of time. But let's go back to hardware. I hope you don't mind.
Okay.
So notice here, I already showed this many times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's a good opportunity for me to reboot this guy because now this thing had a UI now. Actually, the value is
Mm-hmm.
1000, which doesn't make sense.
Sorry, what is 1,000?
The value, the PN value for one is
Ah,
1000.
okay.
So,
Why 1,000?
uh,
No, you'd be dead by that time.
yeah, it's 800. I think the sensor is dirty because look at it, it's 800 now. Oh,
Okay.
they can't zoom in automatically.
Yeah, so how are
Because
you
what happened
installing it?
is, it's literally on my desk because I have my own room now. So notice the windows. I'm going to pull this up. Notice the windows. It's
Mm.
not too far. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good enough. It's indoor enough to get clean environment.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the renovation at my home is still happening. So
Ah.
which is why the room is a bit dusty. But oh yeah. So this is actually very cool for other reason.
Uh-huh. Why?
Now, Nicholas, you can't blow. Okay, so Nicholas saying blow it clean. You can't blow the sensors because those things have lasers and they're actually pretty sensitive and they actually have reflectors, meaning your moisture will actually mess up the reading.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be careful about blowing things.
Even
So, oh yeah,
installing it the wrong way around, not just upside down, but there is a certain there is
yeah,
a certain direction you have to install it. Otherwise, yeah, because of the sensor, the dust will fall on the wrong side. It's like very,
yes,
very tiny particulate matter. It's
correct.
very, very important.
So that we can't because the sensor is inside. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one is cool because turns out that the guys from M5 actually had an application framework in MicroPython. That's that
Mm-hmm.
because MicroPython because their GI-based tools is actually compiled to MicroPython, right? So
Mm-hmm.
turns out that they actually have a semi-public.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very uh, very well documented application framework. So what this they do is, for example, they have a primitive for positioning the numbers, two numbers here. So it's hard to see because this on Linux and they can't focus, they don't do autofocus. So this is
Mm-hmm.
PM1 value, that's the header, this is the actual value. So those actually are UI libraries, right? This thing actually
Yeah.
have a UI libraries. And how if you look at the source code, I will show the source code later. Actually post it on Engineers Mind. What we do is we actually position. We do not position text. We position a block.
Mm-hmm.
So a block is actually things like uh, we have a text box with title and text. I hope I can show the source code. So this one is very interesting to me as an update uh, because the application framework is actually not very well documented. It's interesting but not very well documented. Uh, I think I want to spend time to actually write an article or small
You have
long series of article
yeah, you
show them
had
how.
a
Yeah,
series, right, in your blog that documented your development of this sensor project.
yeah, but yes, but this one is more of documenting the library because it's not very well
Ah.
documented. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's very
The I
powerful. It's extremely powerful.
It's an
Yeah,
IPS LCD screen, right?
yeah,
320
yeah, yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
480, I think.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
So in this,
Is it the same screen as the Arduboy?
no, Aduba is OLED. It's an OLED.
Oh.
It's a slightly bigger version of OLED and black and white only.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this
Keep
one is
showing this.
RGB, right?
Yeah, this RGB. Here you are. Let me share the screen. I don't know
Yeah. So
how to share screen.
I like the M5 stack as well. It's similar to the
Yeah,
concept of the Alora Spectral thing. M5 stack is,
yeah,
this one looks a lot more professional, less than a
yeah.
prototype. It
Yes.
looks like a
Um.
small, like how how you would have a Tamagotchi in the past. If you had a
Correct.
Tamagotchi before, and
Yes.
I'm sure
This one is
people
more
have done
packaged.
Tamagotchi. Yeah, it's a good
Uh,
package. It's
yeah.
polished.
So I'm not sure whether they can do that officially do Tamagotchi because of the licensing.
Well, you don't have to call it Tamagotchi, but it's the same. You have to care for your pet, like virtual pet.
Yeah.
Feed it every day for some time, play with it or whatever. It's the same. I think that's
Yeah.
how they design it as well. Like it has a lot of this Tamagotchi feel.
Yes. So this somebody actually used it for. Okay, cool. So I'm sharing the screen right now. So what I want to show is how the UI library work. So
Mm-hmm.
notice that there is label, text, and all
Mm-hmm.
that. You still position it. You still have to position your UI element, but now you are positioning. You position it. So this is the equivalent of your div,
Mm-hmm.
right? No, it's more likely your. It's more similar to actually your Bootstrap, except you instead to put your position because Bootstrap have high level components.
Mm-hmm.
So then what you do is once you position your components, you just set text, right?
And it will write to that position.
Correct. So it's a very high level library, and
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the things that caused me to confuse like what is a microcontroller? I do not know anymore because
Mm-hmm.
this is actually a high level ish UI library now. It's
Well,
similar
I
to
guess it's all talking via, I don't know, SPI, I think. It's all talking
correct.
about SPI. So it's all signals in the end. But
It's
then
all
again, of
signals.
course, your HDMI is still signals as well. But
Yeah,
it's the microcontroller that's doing the processing, not a video card, I would say.
yeah, correct. It's still that, but the abstraction layer are so high level.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's comparable to how we write program.
Yeah.
The only difference is they do not process your HTML and render it into frame buffer. This is actually a frame
Mm-hmm,
buffer device. So
mm-hmm.
that's the difference, which is why it's very impressive to me. So see here, I can set status and all that. So yeah, ooh, noisy. Hello, can you hear me? All right. It's getting noisy here. Give me a moment. So that's it. So this is hardware that I've been hacking recently. Very interesting. Uh, and I think I want to get a few of these guys.
Yeah, so I'll get it from the other room and then you can continue on talking. Oh,
Yeah,
wait a bit.
yeah. So these guys actually have a series of other hardware. So for example, they actually have let me pull this to .com/m5 stack.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. So they actually have a lot of this. Oh, they even do a Christmas thing now.
Mm.
They built a robot shield. I do not know how much, but this is interesting because this
Are you
has a
sharing?
4 server.
Are you
Can you see
sharing
the
the
screen?
screen?
Oh,
No,
I did. Okay,
no, I don't. I guess you're not sharing the screen.
yeah, I'm going to share it again. Da da da. Share screen. Da da da. Select window. Da da. Allow. So this guy
Mm.
has a series of product. So this is a motor controller and stuff. So make it
Oh, that's the
you can
M5
operate a
stack,
robot.
M5 stick C.
Yeah, and this is the rest are servo controllers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then recently, very recently, they actually partner with Plex. No, not Plex. Plan. You know, Plan is a humanoid robot. Basically, a
Mm-hmm.
humanoid robot. They actually you can dance and all that. Open source. A bit expensive for my taste, but very powerful. So they make a small version of this in their Kickstarter, right? Uh, so you get a version with an M5, which you can program with your favorite language, MicroPython or Arduino, etc. Then you can
Mm-hmm.
actually use it to do things. So this one is interesting because this is the neural network one we're talking about. So see here, they actually recognize
Yep.
cars and all that.
Yeah, this is the M5 Stick V.
Yeah, V, the
Yeah.
video.
The risk
And this,
thing. Oh, this is a D author,
yeah. No, this is
like
not
a
the author, this is
Wi-Fi.
actually a cracker, Wi-Fi cracker.
Oh, it's a Wi-Fi cracker. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
the ESP32 can do promiscuous mode.
Yeah, it scares me,
Huh.
but yes. The short answer is yes.
Cool.
Then you should check their website. All the product is so cool. I
Yeah.
just it's all they have a lot of things that I actually want, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the one. This is a plan robot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
It's
but it's
cute.
like it's
It's
almost a
a
thousand
lightsaber.
ringgit. It's almost 1,000 ringgit for the whole thing, so which is a bit too expensive for me.
I mean, you can just build yourself one.
Yeah, correct. So
Yeah,
and also
lots of
the
good projects.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This the one is excite me other than what the Anji is my friend in Dicode that do the Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
So that this one is package. It means that I'm lazy as hell. But yeah.
Yeah.
So check them out. They have some product and they're reasonably priced. Yeah. So the M Stick V is like almost 100 plus ringgit. Uh, my sensor kit with all the sensor will include a screen button, accelerometer, magnetic sensor, sound, and RGB LED. That's like almost 200 ringgit.
Mm-hmm.
You can build, and their software documentation is not the best, I'm going to say, but it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So let's see whether I can show the shot. Oh, by the way, all the guys I talked about that didn't pay me, they did pay us. We just love their stuff too much. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you
So
want me to
yeah,
show my current progress in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the?
Show
Yeah.
us, show us. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is the my new prototype
Yeah, huh?
for the ESP8266 WeMOS D1
Uh
Mini.
huh. Uh huh.
So basically, and this is just like because I don't want to keep it on serial. So this is basically your display. I'm still working on the display part, but then this is going to be removed because I want it low power. So
Yeah,
it's like an Arduino, I guess.
yeah,
You plug it in like this, and
yeah.
then
Oh my goodness.
the thing just goes on top. I got it upside down, unfortunately. Should have been
Yeah.
pointing down, but then that's the prototype for you. And then this
Oh my
all goes
goodness.
into without this, like this is just for the display. I'll just remove it then. So
Yeah.
without this, it's just going to be like this, and then this goes into the bag, or like
Right.
probably
Right.
with some battery.
Yep.
This
That's actually
this
pretty
is
good
for
design.
yeah, it's quite
Uh-huh.
nice. It's been evolving. Like I've been redoing and over the PCB design for this
Yep.
until I think this is what I'm happy with. There's a lot less of crisscrossed wires, so now
Yep.
it's like here. The LED is there just to indicate that there's power to the microcontroller. Sorry, to the sensor, because
Yep.
I turn off the sensor, and I don't
Right.
know if it's because I crossed wires and the sensor doesn't have power, or I actually turned off the sensor and it's still receiving power. So the LED is there, the jumper is there. If I remove the jumper, then I don't have any power to the LED. It's really low power, and I can go for deep sleep. And of course, you have your back end, your power rails, and all of these things. So I like the D1 Mini. The D1 Mini is now my new favorite type of microcontroller.
The size is very cool.
It
It's
is,
small
yeah.
enough, and it's prototype. easily prototype, and
Yeah.
you can actually there is casing that is existing, so you
Mm-hmm.
can actually build a case for it.
Oh, this one,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So in a
bread.
way,
It's
yeah,
breadboard friendly and it's like proto board friendly. So this is just a normal proto board. I did not order the
yeah,
PCB. I just ordered my stuff on it, and
yeah,
it fits just well. And so you can do it. You can do multiple of these, and you can just mix and match in all of these things. So you don't have to buy shields or hats or whatever. You can just make your
yeah.
own. I really like it.
Unfortunately, the thing is, it's not as standard. But the thing is, nowadays we
Oh.
go past. We already go past the phase that we actually need a shield.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's that precisely.
Yeah.
But their own version of shield still exists, which is actually pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But
Uh,
I like that. Yeah,
Donaldson was saying, well, asking how do the topics work here, and Nicholas actually like answered correctly. Like it's a loose agenda with whatever we think is interesting. Because he was
yeah,
suggesting about the money laundering in CS:GO.
yeah,
I've heard about it. They stopped selling I forgot which packages because apparently the most of the people who buy those packages the keys for the thing the you get the
yeah.
chests when you're playing, but in order to open the chests you need to have a key and you have to buy the key. So
Hmm.
the people who buy the key are mostly money launderers, so they
Right.
will buy a key and then sell it to other people, or like you will buy a key and then open it and sell whatever is inside to other people, and then basically you just laundered money because it went through a legit company, right? You bought a key using
Yeah,
cash and or something.
yeah,
And that was interesting on Valve, that they actually stopped a very lucrative money making system just so
hmm.
that they can combat money launderers. Or then again, maybe they fear government reprisal more than the money that they
Uh,
can get.
Valve is known for that. We're a bit off topic, but I'm going to add a bit more. Remember the time where the Malaysian ISP actually blocked Valve? They can do
Yeah.
a bit more. They can do a bit more than just block money. They can actually demand that credit card do not accept transaction from
Mm-hmm.
this entity. I believe they can do that. I strongly believe they can do that because that's how certain gambling sites are unable to use credit card and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I know credit card are consider Steam as a form of gaming site, as a gambling, not
Mm.
gaming a computer game,
Yeah.
and they block them on themselves. So I know they can do that.
Yeah.
What happened is last year when they got blocked because of certain game. They actually removed the game from they blocked the game from being sold in Malaysia.
Mm.
Uh, they are known to do
Is
that.
this is this the loot cart thing? Loot crate? You know
No,
when Oh no,
no.
it's different. Okay.
Malaysia don't have a loot problem with loot crate. Our policy maker did not catch up yet. This one is
Okay.
actually
I'll
Brighton
act.
the
I,
Conservative did not catch up yet. This is actually a game where the deities are Buddha and Jesus in a fighting game.
oh,
So
okay. That might be interesting. How come? How come they ban it? It's not.
The
I mean,
Christian Association of Malaysia uh, demand the game to be blocked.
okay. I don't
So
think it's a big
it's
deal.
not a
But
big
okay.
deal, but the person is a pastor and he represents a group,
Mm,
the Christians of Malaysia. Then he demands it,
mhm.
and it happens.
Okay. Too bad.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right. I think that's all from
Yeah.
us.
What are we expecting a topic next week with
You know
your
what?
maker communities? Yeah.
Since you're back,
Well,
let's talk
I'm out next
about.
week again. I'm
Oh
in Vietnam
goodness.
next week.
Do you have internet in Vietnam?
I don't know. Not as well. I guess it's not as good as here. I'm not sure. I don't
Yeah.
know yet.
In Vietnam actually had a national firewall as well. Then.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We figure out. I think one of the topic that we talk about. is we're going to talk about difference of communities from places that we go.
Yeah. Hmm.
But it's
Well,
in the middle
that's a
of
good thing.
December.
That's a good
Yeah,
thing. Maybe when I go to Vietnam, I'll try to keep an eye out of communities and attend
as an
them.
experiment. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Then we should try to do recording the upload later. We should really do that next time.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Using our phone. Don't worry about quality. Just have it
Hmm.
out first. Then it's almost the year end. We'll try to figure out a topic for end of the year.
Hmm.
Python Malaysia have something. The end of Python 2 event.
We might have something as well, which because Ruby always releases a new. Well, not always, but the releases of a new version usually happens on Christmas.
Yeah.
So 2.7 is coming out on Christmas, but I don't know
So
what Jimmy is planning.
so and for us DevKami, we figure out what's the end of the year
Yeah.
thing we want to talk
Go
about.
Go as well. Go turns 10 is happening on December. So the meetup for Go will be the topic Go turns 10. And they have a very like formal organization of these things. Like
Yeah,
there's even like a common slide deck that is everyone is encouraged to use for the Go
right.
turns 10 meetup. So it's
Yeah.
quite well organized.
So let's say I think that's the preview of within the next few weeks before end of the year lah. So that's
Hmm.
it. Goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Make sure you like the video
Subscribe.
because uh, yeah, subscribe if you really want to hear us and get updated and get a ping on YouTube that
Yes.
we are starting a new podcast. But liking the
Yeah.
video apparently helps the algorithm to promote it to other people.
Yeah.
So it would really help if you just click
Yes.
on the thumbs up thing.
Yes. It looks this way. Okay. I mean this way. I don't know.
This way?
All right.
No?
Yeah.
Right hand, left hand? Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. Well, thanks for listening and all that. So we go
Bye.
off now.